Who we got in here? Who's in here? How you doing, Eric? Good evening. How you doing today, man? Trying to get back to UFC, but I gotta catch some fish first because I paid to get on this lake. Santino, what's going on, man? How you doing, Santino? Santino, what do you think of the game? Too clunky, huh? Oh yeah, I got some rest, man. I slept about I don't know, 5.5, 6 hours. I feel good, man. I feel like logging on to UFC, but as I was telling Eric, I got to make a little bit of money on this lake because it costs $18,000 to travel here. That's a lot of money on the game. Yeah, I did a full 24, Eric. 24 hours, bro. It ended yesterday at 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific. It does feel limited on striking. It feels like when you throw strikes, you're so far away. You throw a strike and you're so far away, Santino. You got to really be up on the guy, in order to hit him with a strike, which is it's going to take some getting used to. What I have been enjoying about the game is the ground and pound. You know, when I get on top of a guy and I throw elbows and punches to the body to him, the graphics are phenomenal. The get up when you stun somebody and they get up and they're limping, or they get up on one foot, and they're trying to get up and they're limping around the ring. That shit is awesome. Phenomenal. Some of the best graphics at the end of the fight when you get to see the fighter up close. They put a big up close shot up on him. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shot of the fighter at the end. I mean, there's guys that are amazing me right now. Like the beta just came out and they've got, you know, I understand that a lot of it is still UFC 2. I understand that. There's a lot of the ground game. The clinch is the same. You know what I mean? But I want to say, one thing I want to say is it looks like they fixed the spamming of the takedowns for the win. It looks like they fixed that. So I'm very impressed. Very impressed. So if they can stop the spamming of the takedowns when you're getting your ass whooped and you just keep taking a guy down, that's going to be beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, I did a fight yesterday, Santino, and you were watching it, where I beat the guy up, got him to the ground, hit him with elbows, finally got up, took him to the ground, stood up on him, hit him with elbows. Same thing over and over again, and I wind up losing the fight. Losing the fight. The clinch is definitely not as dominant. For sure, it's not as dominant. And the reason why I say that is because you can hit a guy with an elbow, an uppercut, an elbow, and a knee. And normally, if you hit a guy and he's stunned, and you hit him with an uppercut, an elbow, and a knee, then you don't have to do no more. He's out. But on this game, you hit him with a knee. The knees are easy to hit. The knees are easy stuns on this game. But the problem is, as soon as you stun them, you got to block them so they don't get out of the clinch. And then you can stun them again. But a lot of times when you stun them, it lets them go out of the clinch. You understand? So when you let them go out of the clinch, then you got to try to clinch him again or hit him with a kick or hit him with a combination or something to finish him off. So I'm kind of enjoying that a lot better. The clinch was always overrated, in my opinion, on both UFC games. It was always overrated. So, I mean, in my opinion, I think that they did fix, even though now I'm a clinch artist on the other game. You know what I mean? Most of my KOs are due to clinches. So the fact that they fixed that, I'm going to have to change my game up a little bit. Do you, Yearling? Yearling, what do you think about the game, brother? What do you think? Yearly Gaming, what do you think about the game? What's KOC, Santino? What does that mean? Appreciate that, Yearling. Appreciate that, brother. I am going to go to UFC in a little bit, guys. Um, I'm going to go to UFC as soon as I make a little bit of cash catching a few fish here. As soon as I catch a few fish, then I'm going to log on to UFC. Oh, gotcha. I'm sorry, Santino. I'm still out of it, man. I'm still out of it, bro. Please excuse me. Eventually, it's going to be good for me because I'm a stand up guy. But I noticed that a lot of these guys are already on that, leaning back and walking at the same time. There's a lot of guys. What I was meant to tell you guys is that on the game, there are so many good guys that are already playing this freaking game, man, and they're already acclimated to the game. And in the first couple of hours, there were guys that were, I know that I was like 2 hours maybe behind on the beta, but 2 hours, it's a new game, and these guys are mollywopping. You know what I mean? Fluttering around the ring with that lean and stuff like that already. 2 hours in, I'm saying to myself, hold on, there must be some of these guys that must have already played the beta and tested the beta out. Because you just can't come into a game like that, bro, and just automatically know the flutter and the walk around and the punches and the, I mean, you just can't automatically know that unless, I mean, you did some research before you played the game. But there was a lot of guys yesterday, a lot of guys that are good freaking guys already playing this game. Now, if they were champions, obviously, if you think about this concept, anybody that's playing the beta has the love for the UFC, which means that they probably played the UFC too religiously, which means that if they got the beta, they're already good. So anybody that's playing the beta is probably a great player anyway. You're not going to get nobody that's not interested in the UFC talking about, I'm going to sign up for a UFC 3 beta when you really don't even know what it is. You know what I mean? Not many people are going to do that. They're not going to waste their time. But if they have love for the game, they're gonna sign up for the beta, which is what they did. And you got great players playing this damn beta, bro. You got great players already playing this beta. I'm kind of digging I'm kind of digging the aspect of only having a couple of cards if you're a jiu-jitsu guy, and or only having a couple of cards if you're a jiu-jitsu and you'd only get one or two stand-up, punches or kicks. I kind of like that because it doesn't oversaturate the character. It doesn't oversaturate the character with like moves. You know, your character is defined by whatever small little power moves you have and whatever specialist that you are. So if my guy's a jiu-jitsu specialist, he's going to have 6 cards that he's going to be able to apply. But if he's a stand-up guy, he's probably going to have 6 cards that he's going to be able to apply on stand-up versus 2 or 3 or 4. Well, what it is in my opinion, guys, is I think personally that um, that the UFC is good, but that standing up and sliding around the ring is kind of cool. But we played a couple of really good guys. Man, I played that guy Hitler twice yesterday. Remember, I played the guy Hitler twice, right? The first time he beat me, right? And he beat me by a decision. So the second time, I took his ass down like frickin' I don't know how many times and ground and pounded his ass, and I still lost the fight. That was another fight, another controversial fight that I called garbage on, you know. But then the guy wants to send me messages yesterday, you know, after he beat me. And that guy should have lost that fight, for sure. He should have lost that fight. I don't know what fight these computer judges are watching, but let me tell you, the AI judges on this game, I can already see. Look, taking guys down and ground pounding is not my game, but I was such a dummy when I created Easy E. When I created Easy E, um, I created him as a ground guy, I guess, a jiu-jitsu guy or something like that. So all of my cards are ground cards. So I have been using more of a ground game on my guy and taking people down, trying to ground and pound them. But they changed the system, my guy's not a stand-up guy like that, which is actually hurting me because I'm a stand-up guy. It looks like the game is catering to submissions and is catering to stand up. If you get put in a submission in this game, your ass is probably done. What's up, Brandon Day? How you doing, brother man? Brandon. Brandon in the house. What's going on, Brandon? The stand is hard. What do you mean the stand, brother? What do you mean the stand is hard in the beta? What do you mean? The stance? You mean like the stance? You mean walking around? What do you mean? By the way, guys, I am going to be logging back on to UFC probably in about 30 minutes. So don't miss it. We're going back to the beta in 30 minutes. And we might be streaming all night long. So I'm not sure. But we are going to be streaming for hours. So we're not going nowhere anytime soon. Man, I'm gonna tell you right. You talk about Max Holloway, the Hawaiian. You talk about Max the Hawaiian. Is that who you talking about? Look, Jose Aldo is a bad son of a bitch. But if you're talking about Max Holloway, the Hawaiian, Max Holloway's last fight was very, 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 very impressive to me. Super impressive to me last time he fought. Max Holloway. If I had to choose between Max Holloway and Jose Aldo, I'm going Max Holloway all day. Going Max Holloway all day. Jose Aldo, your time has passed, buddy. Jose Aldo's on the downward spiral. You know, I didn't see it. I didn't see it, Santino. Um, but like I said, Max is an absolute that Hawaiian Max Holloway, I ain't got nothing but respect for him. Right now, in my opinion, Max Holloway is the top three in his division. That's my opinion for sure. 100%. 100% top three in his division. Does anybody doubt me when I say that Max Holloway is the top three in his division? Does anybody doubt me? Anybody, any naysayers out there say, no way, Mike? Okay, well, I didn't know Santino he was the champ, bro. I wasn't quite, I didn't know he was the champ. I didn't know. But like I said, you know, there's a lot of good guys in the division, his division, that Max would have problems with, even though he's the champ. So I guess we got to call him number one in his division because he's the champ, Santino. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed that 24-hour stream, and I really seriously can't thank all you guys, especially you and Red Santino and the young lady that was in the room yesterday, and Cruppy Face MJ, and a couple of other guys that were in the room that really kept the stream going yesterday. Man, I can't say thanks enough, man. Real talk. Like I said, Max Holloway's a beast, bro. You know, I got nothing but respect for him, bro. Real talk. I think like I said, I think he's one of the best. But since he's the champion, he's considered the best. So congratulations to Max. Congratulations, because I really like Max Holloway. I really like him, Santino. Like, I really like him as a fighter. Like, if you saw, well, let's hope it stays legendary, Santino. You had a few people that said that they were going to stream 24 hours and they were going to hang with Mike, but they didn't hang. You know what I'm saying? When I say I'm going to do something, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody wants to bluff. I'm not talking about it. I'm being about it, Santino. That's the one thing about me, bro. I'll never say anything I don't mean. I just won't say anything at all. You feel me? And if I say I'm going to do something and I got my head in it, I'm going to do it. You guys thought because I was on Fishing Planet that I was going to forget about the UFC 3. I ain't forgetting about the UFC 3, baby. No, Astro didn't hang, bro. Astro streamed for 3 or 4 hours or something like that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't hang. I wish he could have hung. I wish he could have hung, because if he could have hung, we could have worked together. You know what I'm saying? If he had hung in there, we could have got his streamers over here, and we could have got our streamers over there, and he would have made probably 25 or 30 subs if he had hung in there, but he didn't hang in there. Hell no, Santino. Hell no. He was counting sheep, bro. You know what counting sheep is? I love my man Astro, but Astro was counting sheep yesterday. Astro went to sleep. I want to say, yeah, that was about the max. It was about 30 at one time. And then it dropped down quick after that to about 20. But I mean, and the funny thing is, I'm going to be honest with you, most of the 20 or 30 were probably my subs, that just come in to check me out anyway. I don't think we had a whole lot of new people, you know. I thought, in my opinion, to be all honest with you, that the views would have been way more. I'm not saying that the people that necessarily came in the stream, but I'm talking about the day after the stream, hours after the stream, that we would have had 2,000 views. But we only got like 800, 780 or something like that. I mean, I'll take 780 views. I ain't going to complain. We picked up 30 subs. We picked up 30 subs. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we did. We did. But you know what? We're not going to tolerate that, Santino, and we don't have to. You know, hell yeah. 500 is the goal right now, baby. Actually, 450. We want to get 4. Do we want to hit 500? I'm gonna be honest with you, Santino. I'm greedy. I want to hit 500 by the end of the beta. So we got 2 days to hit 500. That's real talk. I don't know where we're at right now, 413 or something like that, but I'm greedy. I'm hoping that we get that in the next couple of days when I stream, that we just get about 20 or 30 a day. That's what I'm hoping. 20 or 30 a day. Just grind out 20 or 30 subs. It's probably not going to happen, but I'm an optimist. Yeah, that would be good, Santino. Is a great guy, man. I can't say enough for Frank White. Frank White, if you happen to see my stream later on, I'm giving you props right now, because I want to say thank you for inviting me on your stream. Thank you for giving me a super duper big plug on your stream, Frank White, yesterday. I really appreciate that. I went to Frank White's stream yesterday, and Frank White gave all his, I think he had like 13 people in his stream. He gave me a super shout out, told him to come and check out my stream. I mean, and then we fought, and he beat me up and put me in a submission. But he is a real, real great guy. I like that guy. The Frank White Show. Somebody you need to check out if you like to watch UFC. He streams other games too. But I gotta give him a shout out, man, because that was very cool of him to do what he did. You know, it depends. Santino, the only thing about it is I don't think that we're gonna. I don't, man. I'd love to pound out 1,000 subs by the beginning of the year, but the problem is I don't know how come. I don't know if it was maybe I got the beta 2 hours late. Um, but I looked on. I want to say I looked on somebody's stream yesterday that was streaming. Um, I forgot who it was, and he had 100 people watching his shit. 100 people on the stream watching the beta. You know what I mean? When we got 20 or 30 on here, and they got 100. You know what I mean? And I mean they're a popular guy. I don't know who it was. I don't know who it was. Or are you talking about Santino? Or are you talking about UFC 3? You know, I'm gonna say this. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know what you guys think about. I don't know what you guys think about the graphics when you get hurt. What do you guys think about the graphics when you get hurt on the game? Okay, you get hurt on the game, and now all of a sudden you're limping around. Those are real graphics, man. Those are true graphics. When you get knocked on the ground and you get leg kicked, and you get knocked down, you want to get up so quick. The get up, the graphics on the get up are so realistic when he puts one hand down and he's got one knee down and he goes to get up. That I mean, the graphics on that particular part of the game, I am so thoroughly impressed with, guys. That's real talk. Think about that, you know. And then, okay, one thing I will say though, we're gonna be in big trouble with the leg spammers. That's already coming. I'm letting everybody know that right now, since we have problems and they're not gonna be spamming takedowns because they can't get a win. So now they're gonna be spamming leg kicks. I'm already calling it out, guys. Already calling it out. That's going to be a big problem. But I do have a comment about spamming the leg kicks. If you have a spammer that is spamming the leg kicks and you block those leg kicks like 3 times, then they're going to have damage on their leg. So that is another beautiful aspect about the game. See, a lot of people are talking negative about the game and they don't want to give real big details about why the game is this and why the game is that. Well, let's break it down and let's give details. Give details. There's a lot of beautiful things about the game that I say that are really good. Now, if anybody has any ideas about why the game is bad, let me know and let's discuss it. Let's discuss it. I want to tell you guys that we got 10 people on the stream. I know most of you guys are my UFC guys. I will be going to UFC 3 in about 30 minutes, and we're going to be streaming UFC for about 7 or 8 hours. So whatever you do, if you guys just happen to leave the stream, just come back to the stream in 30 minutes and we'll be streaming UFC. Trust me when I tell you. But back to the other things, Santino. Talk about the good things in the game. You know what I mean? Or let's talk about the bad things in the game. You know what I mean? Let's have a discussion. The ring walk coming out where you step into the ring and they go and the referee is checking him out and then he opens up his mouth. You know what I mean? Like that. That is phenomenal graphics, bro. Phenomenal graphics. At the end of the fight, you get a beautiful close up of the fighter. You know what I mean? So if you have a created fighter that particular close-up is going to be phenomenal. It's going to look so good. Trust me when I tell you. Well, I want to say this, that I think I might be able to get into the submissions a little bit better into this game. Maybe. I might be able to get into it a little bit better. I always wanted that they would cater a little bit better to make the submissions a little bit easier. If you have the defense to defend the submission and you know how to defend the submission, then you can get out of it. But if you don't have the defense on your guy and you get put in a submission, then game over for you. You know, I haven't really got into the submissions too much, but I did try to put a couple of guys in submissions yesterday, and I thought it was kind of fun. And I don't normally do that, especially in a ranked game. I don't ever normally try to put somebody in a submission. Never. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, bro. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The game just came out yesterday, and I got put in a fucking submission 3 times or 4 times yesterday, or maybe more. Okay? And when I tell you I got put in a submission, fucking anime put me in a fucking submission I couldn't move. You know what I mean? I don't know how you get into a submission and guys stop you when you're moving a joystick in three spots. I never understood that about the submissions in this game. Well, Santino, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of submissions at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. It may be because I don't know how to do them. I don't know. You call it what you want to, but me personally, I'm not a big fan. So, um, I agree, Bones 3200. You know, I absolutely agree with you, sir. I absolutely agree with that comment. They need to bring a fight night back. But I will say this, and I have to say this, Bones. I really have to say this for everybody. Donovan, Trent, how you doing? You need some starting out tips, Donovan. I'll be glad to give you starting out tips, bro. Give me 1 second. I'll help you out. Like I said, I was never a big fan of submissions, man. But we were talking about the UFC and Fight Night. Um, One thing that they did do in this game is I think they implemented a 2018 Fight Night stand up style in the UFC. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they implemented in Fight Night, you use the 2 fucking buttons to throw your uppercuts and shit, just like Fight Night, if I'm not mistaken. You know, a lot of the moves are like Fight Night moves as far as pressing the buttons, you know, or the way that you push the buttons to throw your punches. So they have implemented a little bit of Fight Night into the game, which I'm thoroughly excited about. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm thoroughly excited about it. Hey, Brandon, what do you think about the game, man? What do you think, Brandon? Well, actually, Santino, that's the only way I ever played. I always thought using the joystick was a very, very more harder way to play, and I thought that using the buttons to throw punches was a cheesy fucking way to do it. And the reason why I say that is because when you use the joystick, you're not as accurate as using the buttons 100%. If you're circling around the ring and you use your joystick to throw punches and you're using your joystick to circle around the ring, you're going to miss some of those punches. But when you press a square and your square is a jab, you're never going to miss the jab, because as long as you press that square, it's always going to throw the same exact identical punch. So I always use the joysticks, Brandon and Santino, always. Well, Fight Night Champion had the same thing. All the fight nights had the joystick. When the fight night, I want to say Fight Night round three came out. When Fight Night round three came out, they really catered to people who uh, who used the joystick. You know what I mean? But when Fight Night four came out and Fight Night round four came out and Fight Night Champion came out, then they really started to get cheesy with the buttons. You know what I mean? It's easy to press the buttons to get the accuracy on your punches all the time. They should have eliminated the buttons and made everybody do it the same way. Jet, that's just my opinion. It's a lot cheesier to use the buttons for your punches versus using the joysticks in Fight Night. Shit. Look, bro, Bones, I swear and everything. Look, I didn't even like playing Fight Night. You want me to tell you why? Because I was going through a fucking controller a week, bro. I was going through a fucking controller a week, Bones. And you want me to tell you why? Because when guys put you up against the ropes right there and you're trying to circle off the ropes, you're pressing that left joystick in so hard to move around the ring, to circle around the ring, that you break the insert out of the game off the controller. On the insert right here, on the insert of the controller, right here where the little plastic piece is, right there, from putting pressure on the controller, they would bend in. And after a while, that the little plastic piece would break off. I swear I had. But see, I got smart when it came to the controllers and Walmart. You know what I mean? We got three Walmarts around my area. You know what I mean? I would go get a warranty on one and get a warranty on it, and I'd already have the other one that was the same color, and it was pretty much brand new. And I'd be like, "Hey, man, these controllers are breaking. Here's my warranty," and they would give me a new one. So sometimes I'd have like two extra controllers that were in boxes just waiting. Right, Bones. You know what I'm talking about, Bones. You remember the Fight Night days, breaking controllers, breaking them dumbass inserts off the fucking joysticks right there. And it's like you would seem to think that Sony would come out with a joystick that the inserts wouldn't break out like that. You know what I mean? You would seem to think that they would come out with a heavy duty controller where they wouldn't do that. But you want me to tell you, it's all about money. They don't give a shit about making a heavy duty controller like that. They give a shit about making money. So they know that if they make a game like that, and I'm gonna be honest with you, let's be honest. These PlayStation 4 controllers are a lot stronger than the PlayStation 3 controllers, but when you get into a submission in UFC 2, don't tell me that you guys aren't pushing that damn controller over to the left side or right side as hard as you could to get out that goddamn submission. Don't tell me you're being light on your controller when you get into a submission and you're not pushing it hard. Because I know damn well when I get into a submission, I'm pushing that controller as hard as I can, left, right, up, down, circle. You know what I mean? Not circle, but you know what I mean. Oh yeah, they were $60. Yeah, they were $60. The brand new PS2 controllers or PS3 controllers were $60. Yeah. Hey, now, hey, and not to say that if you ever played Fight Night, that you guys never got the fucking blister on your fucking thumb, the Fight Night blister on your thumb. Okay, if you ever played Fight Night religiously, I know you guys got the Fight Night blister. The Fight Night blister is no joke. Hey Bones, have you ever got the Fight Night blister on your thumb? Just playing fucking Fight Night so much and the controllers, especially after you play Fight Night for a while, right? The plastic, or not the plastic, but the rubber piece right here comes off the controller, right? So like if you're a stallion, then you play with that hard ass piece of fucking plastic on there, and you're moving around hurting your motherfucking thumb with that hard ass piece of plastic on there when you're playing Fight Night. You remember them days? Especially Madden, huh? Would you say joysticks are the way to go in a game? But anybody that's a gamer, man, anybody that's a gamer has a thumb blister. If you're a real gamer, either you got a thumb blister or you got a callus, one of the two. But if you're a real gamer, you got one of the two. Because I know right now I'm a real gamer. I'm a real gamer. And I got motherfucking callus on my thumb right now. Right now. Blisters and shit. Not really blisters because it's like calloused. So I don't know if you guys know if you have calluses on your thumbs because or blisters on your thumbs because you're playing. All right, this is what we're gonna do, guys. Oh hell yeah, mine do too, Bones. Hey, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna catch some big catfish, man. See you later, Donovan. You have a beautiful night, man. Beautiful night, Donovan Trent. Have a beautiful night. We're gonna catch some big fish real quick. We gonna hopefully catch our sack fill. You know what I'm saying? We caught a 33 pounder. That's what I'm talking about. We're gonna fill this fish keep up to 440 pounds real quick, and then we're gonna go fishing. So, hey Santino, hopefully we catch a champion cat, a blue cat right now. I'm gonna see if I can catch a nice big blue catfish like a 80 pounder, a 100 pounder. You know what I'm saying? I'm fishing in Michigan, Bones. There's a map here in on the game. It's called Michigan. It's the best map to make money. It opens at level 6. It's definitely a science. Definitely a science. You got to fish at the right time. You got to have the right bait. Your leader's got to be right. You know what I'm saying? You just can't come and fish anywhere and think you're going to catch fish. Uh-uh. It ain't like that because you'll be fishing and not catching shit. Oh, you play this game, Bones. You play the fishing game, bro? Right. You know what, bro? I'm gonna be honest with you. I have been farming Michigan for probably 20 days. I just hit level I just hit level 40 the other day, and and I just bought this Fish Keep XL. It costs 100,000. But the Fish Keep XL allows you to keep the big fish. Allows you to fill your stringer up real quick. I went to Alaska catching 70-pound Chinook salmon, and I couldn't keep them. I couldn't keep the Chinook salmon because my stringer wasn't big enough. But see now, it took a lot longer to fill your stringer up. But see now I want to go play UFC, so I'm trying to fill the stringer up quick. It cost me 18,000 to come to this lake. So if I don't fill my stringer up, then I'm losing money if I go play UFC. And I only got $38,000. A Cruppy or Santino? Mic check. I would love to send you guys pictures. Some of my pictures that I have on my email of my created fighters. These particular pictures that I have are absolute gold because they're compatible with the EA Sports game face. And there's a lot of pictures that are very, very hard to find on a character that are very compatible, that make the character look identical when you play them, when you create them in the game. Michael Jackson is one of them. Herman Munster is another one. So those are two created characters. Chucky's another one. So those are three created characters that I feel that I want to save, and for some reason I don't know if I'm going to be able to get on EA Sports Game Face unless I reboot my computer. I could probably save my pictures to a hard drive. But I also have a tablet over here. I also have a tablet, so I might be able to get it on the tablet. This is what you call farming. This is what you call farming for catfish. This is what you call farming for catfish. You come over here, you farm for these fucking catfish, man. You want to fill this big ass stringer of 440 pounds. Hey, I fish in real life too. I worked in San Diego, Bones, on a sport boat for 9 years. And we took passengers out fishing 1 day up to 16 days. Long range. Tuna fishing. Yellowtail fishing. Dorado fishing. Wahoo fishing. Marlin fishing. Bass fishing. Barracuda fishing. Everything. We go down the list. Black sea bass, sailfish, white sea bass, sand bass, calico bass, halibut. We go down the list. Chubby, what up, baby? No, 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 Chubbs. I'm going. Trust me, I'm trying to get over there as quick as I can, bro. But I paid to get on this lake yesterday on the game, and it cost $18,000 to travel here. So I've got to feel this fish keep up. I've got to feel this fish keep up before I go fight UFC because I fought 24 hours yesterday, so I lost money on this lake. So because my girl wanted to fish last night, I had to pay the 18,000 to come back on this lake and fish. But she only caught like 16 pounds of fish out of 440, which isn't enough. You know what I don't like about halibut? I'm gonna be honest with you, but then, you know, a lot of people, say the same thing about catfish or any bottom fish or any rockfish, is that halibut are bottom feeders. But I've cleaned halibut and they have like worms on them on the bottom, little fucking worms in the meat, and I don't really like that. Even though a lot of, believe it or not, if you guys, you have no clue the rockfish that they get probably when they get like the fish fillets from McDonald's and shit. Those rockfish all have worms in them. You know what I mean? They all have worms in their meat, and a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that, especially the rockfish, but the halibut too. But people eat the halibut, they don't even know. They got the worms in the meat, and they don't even know. Probably some of the best fresh tasting fish that I've ever had. I mean, anybody could say tuna's fresh. Tuna's beautiful when it's fresh. Fresh calico bass. Fresh calico bass is very nice. I'm not sure what kind of worms they are, Chubs. I'm not 100% sure what kind of worms they call them in the meat that's in the meat of the fish, but they are worms. See, I used to fillet fish um, coming back from our trips. And when we used to go during the wintertime, sometimes during the wintertime, when we didn't have a scheduled long range trip, we would take passengers out rock cotton, rock fishing. They put like 5 or 6 hooks on with a big ass weight on, and we take them in deep water and we take them rock fishing. They put, that's when you catch the big cow cod, you know, and the fish like that. So, but when you catch those fish down there like that, like I said, they all have worms in them, bro. Most of them have worms. All them fish that they be catching, like on like the fish that they catch on the deadliest catch, the live ones that they catch, they got worms in them, bro. What do you mean? Do they grow when it's off? When it's off or something? What do you mean? One of the guys, one of the guys that one of the guys that I worked with on the fishing boat, I actually got him a job. We skated together when I was young. I used to skate on a team, and we skated together. But I worked on the fishing boats, and he worked in Alaska. He did commercial salmon fishing in Kenai. So I got him a job on the boat that I was working on during the summertime, and he would work and go to Alaska and work like 6 weeks or 2 months and come back with like 10 G's. A lot of good money up there, man. But let me tell you something about going up there and fishing commercial fishing. Any kind of commercial fishing, you gotta have the eye of the freaking tiger, bro. No, man, you talk about live worms when the fish is live, bro. If you turn a halibut upside down, some halibut, if you turn them upside down, you could see the worms and you could touch them and they'll move on the meat. They'll move right there on the fucking top of the skin. Or, or if you cut them open, if you cut them open, once you cut the meat open to fillet the meat, you accidentally cut the worm. And then you'll see the worm in the meat, and the worm is moving around in the meat. It's kind of disgusting. Real talk, though. That's real fucking talk. Check it out. I'm not lying to you. We used to fillet a lot of rock cod, bro. We used to fillet a lot of rock cod coming back from our trips. You know, we'd have 15, 20 people on this trip, and they'd catch 40 or 50 fish a piece, and they'd all want them fucking cleaned. You know what I mean? So we got 500 between two of us. We got two people filleting fish, and we got one bagger. You know what I mean? And we're coming back from our trip in fucking cold, rough weather at nighttime. You know, we get out there, we leave at nighttime, we get out there to the fishing spot early in the fucking morning. 5 in the morning it take us to get to the fishing spot. Then they fish all fucking day till like 4 in the afternoon. And then at 4 in the afternoon we'd pull the anchor, and then we'd fucking drive all the way back, fucking 10 hours to get back home. And then during that 10 hours we'd have to clean all the fish, clean the fucking boat, and then by that time, if we had enough time, we'd be able to grab something to eat or maybe take a little nap, you know, before we got back home. But then sometimes we'd have to drive the boat, you know, back home. Some people, we'd have to take rotations. If it was a big long trip and it took 10 hours to get there, you know, which is 10 hours is like 100 miles. The boat only goes like 11 knots, you know, 12 knots. You know, some boats can go 13 miles an hour. Some boats only go 9, 10 knots. That's, 10 miles an hour. What do you mean the update for the PS4? What do you mean, Bones? So anyway, Chubbs, that's the reason why I got turned off the halibut. That's the reason why I don't fuck with halibut. A lot of people are, but you know, I mean, the worms ain't gonna hurt you. The worms ain't gonna hurt you, you know, I mean, if you cook them, you know, and a lot of people don't even know what they're eating. A lot of people don't even have no fucking clue. All that fillet of fish that you get from McDonald's, those are all rockfish. Those are all bottom fucking cod. They're codfish, you know, and those codfish got worms in them. When it comes to fishing, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know my shit. Um, I'm not a bass fisherman, but when it comes to ocean fishing, you know, probably one of my biggest fish that I ever caught was a 30-pound white sea bass. As far as a sport fish, that wasn't a marlin. The biggest fish I ever caught, me and another guy caught. We caught a 583-pound blue marlin on 50-pound tests. 50-pound tests. I don't know why this guy was trolling. I don't know why he was trolling with 50-pound tests, but he had his rod out there trolling with 50-pound tests, and he hooks up with this 583-pound blue marlin. He fought the fish. He got tired. We wind up having to tie another rod that had 120-pound tests on it. We wind up tying that rod off to his rod, and we put his rod in the water because he was getting spooled. So the captain backed the fucking boat down, and he's backing the boat down, going in reverse, trying to fucking not let this guy get fucking spooled because he didn't have enough time to turn this big ass boat around, you know, to where the guy can get the angle and he can. But finally, we did get the boat turned around and where he could do it, but he's getting spooled. So we grab a one of our heavy rods, Gold International reel. It's got a 120-pound test on it. We tie up the fucking we tie up the 120-pound test up to his rod, and we drop his rod in the motherfucking water. We button the drag down on his rod so no more line goes on his rod, and we loosen the drag up on the other rod that we got, the 120-pound test rod. We loosen it up. So then we finally get the rod back after we chase the fish down. We get his rod back. Then we start trying to gain line on the fish, and we chase the fish down, wind up getting the fish, 583-pound blue marlin, and I had to clean that son of a bitch by myself, and I wasn't fucking happy. I wasn't fucking happy. But it was a very, very impressive fish. You know, in the docks in San Diego, there's three main sport fishing docks down there. You know, they got Fisherman's Landing, H&M, and Point Loma. And most of them cater, if you guys know anything about long range sport fishing, most of them cater to like the bigger boats like the XL and the Red Rooster. And you could look at the sport fishing shows and see. I worked on the Polaris Supreme. You can Google the Polaris Supreme. I worked on the Polaris Supreme with Tommy Rothery. That's the owner and the captain. Frank Lopresti is probably one of the biggest innovators as far as long-range sport fishing for catching big tuna. So if you know anything about catching big tuna, you hear people catching big tuna, not on the East Coast. I'm not talking about the bluefin that they're catching on the East Coast out there that you see on the TV shows. I'm talking about the sport fishing on the west side over here on the Pacific Ocean. What's up, Turkish Gamer in the house? Man, I need about 110 pounds of fish. That's really about two fish. Two more fish, guys, and then I go to UFC, man. Appreciate that, Turkish. We about to go to UFC in about 15 minutes. It might not even take that long. I'm trying to catch a couple of big catfish so I can fill the stringer up. I got 333 pounds out of 440, and I've been catching 20 and 30-pound catties, but there's like 80 pounders in here. So I'm hoping to give me a nice big 80 pounder real quick and stick his ass in the stringer. You know, there's three maps, even though I'm level 40 and I'm halfway into Prestige number 1. Um, there's three maps that I haven't even been to. I haven't been to Colorado, I haven't been to North Carolina, and I haven't been to Louisiana. And I'm really excited about going to Louisiana on this map. Really excited. I want to really try to catch some of those big gars. I did make the top 10. I caught a unique schnook in Florida, and I'm ranked number 5 right now. I'm in the top 5. But you ask me if there's a method to the madness. There's a method to the madness. You got to be at the right time. Certain time fish bite at a certain time. Walleyes, if you go to Emerald Lake, they bite better in the rainy, when it's raining. So when it's raining, you can use lures, and you catch them all day long on lures. And Emerald Bay when it's raining. Nice champion walleye, trophy walleyes. And you know, it's actually not bad to fish over there. I like fishing over there. Another thing that I want to get into is the tournaments here. I was gonna join the tournament yesterday that they had here on the lake for trout, but the UFC beta came in yesterday afternoon, of all the worst times for it to come in. other than in the evening time. I didn't get barely any sleep. I got 3 hours of sleep last night. Yesterday afternoon, before I started streaming that 24-hour stream. I think I'm on like 6 hours and like 40 hours. Maybe 8 hours because I got a nice little rest last night. Got about 5 hours last night. So actually, I don't, or should I say today? I'm saying last night. My day's all messed up. That 24-hour stream fucked me up. I want to go back to Alaska. Alaska was so freaking fun to fish over there, bro. So fun to fish over there. The problem with Alaska, you could fill your 220-pound stringer up in Alaska in 1 hour. But when the bite shuts off, it gets really freaking slow. Like it gets really slow. If I can give any suggestion to anybody, I mean, the game is set up, okay? The game is set up, right, guys, where they want you to marinate on a lake. They want you to marinate on that lake for days. I mean, like really in real lifetime days. You know, they want you to marinate every single lake. Now you can do a couple of things in order to enjoy the game. You can go to every lake, take your time, spend the money on the equipment that they need on that lake, get the stringer, spend your time on that lake, redo it, get some more, get it paid for another day, spend some more time on the lake, or, and then you go to the next lake, the next level. Then you do that again. Get the right pole, spend the time on the lake. Look, I don't want to do all of that, okay? This is what I want to do. I want to rank up quick. In order for me to rank up quick, I had to come to Michigan. Michigan is where the real money is. There's not a map on the game that pays you more money. There's maps that give you more XP, but there's no map on the game that gives you more money. And when you start out, you got to get money. That money that you got to get money for the fish keep. You got to get money for your rods and reels. You got to get money to travel. You got to get money for bait and tackle. So you need money, money, money. It's just like the UFC. You got to be in a coin grind, grind, grind. So if you come over here, Bones, right? If you come over here to Michigan when you get to level 30, that should be your focus, is to try to get to level 30 as quick as you can. I don't know what level you said you were. You were level 20 or something. But if I was you, I'd try to get down to Florida. I'd farm those perch or those bass over there in Florida. And from Florida, I would sit there and wait till I'd sit there in Florida and farm those bass until I got to uh, level 30. And then once you get to level 30, then you can come to Michigan and you can make the real money. And then you just farm Michigan. You got to farm Michigan until you hit level 40. Once you get level 40, then you'll have enough money by that time. If you're smart, you have enough money where you could buy all the equipment that you need. See, me, I'm different. I left, I went to some other lakes, I spent some money, blah, blah, blah. But if I had just stayed here and I had just used my premium on my account and just stayed here, I would have $500,000, $1 million right now. And I would have everything that I needed if I had just stayed here day after day after day. I did some super big grinding over here. Don't get it twisted. I got some super big grinding over here. But if I had just stayed here once I hit level 30, all the way to level 40, and just refresh my rods, refresh my reels every 6 or 7 days, Go back home, get some more bait. Man, I'm telling you, the best map for XP is probably Alaska, bro. If you go over there to Alaska right now, Bones, the XP over there in Alaska is fucking phenomenal. Those Chinook salmon are 70 pounds. And if you catch a Chinook salmon, it's like fucking 3,000 XP. I mean, it's like a lot. If you're level 25, I would definitely go and farm bass. You don't need a lot of equipment to go to Florida and farm those bass over there. You don't need a lot of equipment. You know what I'm saying? You just need, enough to catch 3 or 4 pounders. 12-pound tests over there. You know, you don't go over there and fish. If you go to Florida, you don't want to go to Florida and fish on that one pier over there with all them big fish over there because you're going to get spooled and you're going to break your line and your reel and everything else over there. They don't play. You got to have the right equipment in Florida fishing on that pier. That's like going to the that's like going to Louisiana and fishing them gars over there with the wrong equipment. You can't go over there. That's one spot you can't go to is Florida and fish the wrong equipment over there because you'll get spooled. I fought a fish over there for like 40 or 50 minutes and it spit the hook. Spit the hook after 40 or 50 minutes of fighting because the retrieval speed wasn't fast enough. So when the fish started swimming towards me, you know what I'm saying? Boom. He spit the hook. I've been spooled over there. That's where I caught my Chinook salmon, though. That's where I caught my rank number 5 salmon is over there. Guys, I need like a 70 pounder right now. Where's the fishing gods at, man? I want to say that there's another lake you can go to, Bones. It's a trout lake. I forgot. I think it's San Joaquin Valley in California. You can go to California and fish them trout over there. And that's a pretty spot to go fish. You know what I mean? You could fill up a 110-pound stringer over there, 220-pound stringer in an hour, you know, if you fish hard. So that's another good spot for XP. Did you really? Fuck. I want that sport angler bundle. How much did that shit cost? Like $9? Or was it more? I don't even know what comes in the sport angler bundle, but I know that I'm trying to make about 100,000 so I can get that big tackle box and shit. Once that bobber passes this dock, usually you can get bit right here where the bobber is, but usually once it passes this dock, the bite shuts off. It wasn't fun. You know what's even funnier? You want me to tell you, Bones, what's even funnier? Is I've been spooled twice in one day at this lake. At this lake, twice in one day. But see, what I did was I went and got a really, really nice, it's called a Loki rod. And I think I have a Hornet Swarm 5000 on here for my lure fishing here on Michigan. And that fucking Loki rod and that Hornet Swarm is a beast. It'll reel in 18-pound trophy pike like it ain't shit. But I will say this though, I do have a comment that if you get into a big, uh, what's that fish? I'm getting bit right now. Hold on. If you get into a bigger fish, 25 or 30-pound fish, you're gonna have a fucking fight on your hands. I got like 20-pound tests on that lure rod. Oh, it costs $20, huh? Man, I'm ready to go to UFC, man. Trying to get this big fish. Come on. Come on. How big are you? He's only 30, maybe. Yeah, exactly 30. All right, I need 50 more pounds. 50 more pounds, and we're getting into like the peak time right now. The peak time, which means that it's the best time to fish right now, is the peak time in the evening time for these catfish. So it shouldn't take but 5 minutes to fill this stringer up. Hey, Bones, it ain't no joke, man, when it costs $20 to fucking, or 18,000 to travel, man. It ain't no joke. The license is 8,000 and travel fees is 10,000. But I'm telling you right now, Alaska is such a beautiful place to fish. Even San Joaquin Valley and Falcon Lake are all beautiful places to fish. Falcon Lake, I noticed, was kind of slow. Falcon Lake is like a boring ass lake. You know what I mean? But when you hook into real nice fish, the scenery is real nice. The water is blue. You know, when you go to Alaska and you fish in Alaska, there's a spot where you catch those big Chinook salmon. It's nice over there. And there's a little honey hole where you catch these freaking 60 pounders 60 feet from the freaking from right where you're at. So you cast out 180 feet and then you wind up and right when you get to 60 feet you get bit. Boom, honey hole. Yeah, Bones, if I don't know if you hit my did you sub to my channel, Bones? I stream Fishing Planet usually every day as well as UFC. You know, it's kind of fun catching those snook over there. We were catching trophy and unique snook off of cut bait in Florida. Off of cut bait. It was pretty fun. And I was using the same rod I'm using right now. This is a Brutus. I think it's a Brutus 1010 or something like that. This is a pretty stout rod. Pretty fucking stout. All I need is 45 pounds, guys. 45 pounds. Then we're going to UFC. I don't know if you're on my friends list, Bones, but you could always send me a friend's request. I mean, obviously, if you spend money on the game, you like to fish. I'll be glad to help you out the best way I can. Hey guys, all I need is a couple of more minutes and then we're going to UFC. So just give me a couple of minutes, man. Ugh. Oh, okay, I appreciate it. When I was fishing for what? What was I fishing for? I'm going to try something. And this is how I caught my big fish. And I swear it was right here. I'm gonna try something. I know it's gonna drift into the dock, but I really got bit last time, right when it got next to the dock. And that's how I caught that 70 pounder. So we're gonna let it drift into the dock and see what happens. See the dock right here? See the dock, Bones? You see how the bobber's drifting into the dock right now? This is how I caught my last big fish. It doesn't happen very often because there's a glitch where the fish jumps out the water and it says that your bait has been pulled out of the fish's mouth when it gets real close like this. So you don't really want to get your bobber close to the dock like this, but we'll see what happens. It happened quick too. There he is. See how big he is. Oh, he's a 30 pounder. Right next to the dock. Anywhere between, I'm going to UFC, guys, in just a minute. I only need friggin' what, 30, 10, 14 pounds. I only need 14 pounds. So 14 pounds is nothing. One more fish and then we're going to UFC, baby. What do you talk about pikes, Bones? Oh, okay, I got you. A couple of streams ago when I was fishing for pikes, I got you. See, right now, I really want to go, Bones. I want to be competitive, Bones. If you like to fish and you want to be competitive, I have about 5 guys that like to fish that are on my friends list that have been fishing with me. My objective, if you really want to know my objective, Bones, my objective is to go into the tournaments, know the lakes, have the lures, have the equipment needed, have the money, go into the lakes and fish these tournaments. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean? And not only do I want to do that, but I want to go into the lakes like Louisiana, and I want to catch big fish. I want to catch a big trophy uh, or a unique gar out there. Exorial Stunner, how you doing? How you doing, Exorial? Exorial, I want to say thanks a lot for your support, for coming on the stream. Appreciate that, man. We are going to UFC, guys. We're going to UFC in 5 minutes. All I need is one fish. So we got 8 people on the stream right now. We're going to UFC in 5 minutes, and we'll be streaming UFC 3 beta in 5 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes. Who knows? But in the next few minutes. But yeah, that's what I want to do, Bones. And Bones, another thing too. I want to go fish big fish on lighter line, but with good tackle. You understand? I want to fish big fish on lighter line, but with good tackle. You can't go fish big fish on light line with shitty tackle. If you have good tackle, then that's when the gameplay of the real fisherman comes out. I know that a lot of times when you fight these fish on this game, it seems like it's impossible to reel these fish in. Oh man, I'm not going to get this fucking fish. But I think that if you got the right tackle and you got the right rod and you got the right reel and you got the right good line, that your line is the only thing that you have to worry about when you're catching those fish. And if you're a fisherman, I've caught on this game, and I'm not talking easy catfishing like this. I'm talking about fish that fight and pull line. I've caught I caught an 11-pound catfish in mud water on 3-pound test. 11-pound catfish on 3 pound. And then I caught a 30-pounder on like 10-pound test or 12-pound test, something like that. So you have the ability to catch bigger fish that are actually fighters on getting bit. Getting bit. Getting bit. He's going to bite it right now. One more second. One more second. There he is. There he is. How big is it? This is what you call cheesy catfishing. Cheesy catfishing. Cheesy catfishing. 45-pounder cheesy catfishing. All right, guys, my fish keep is full. I'm going to see how much money I got. Hey, Bones, I don't have premium on my account, but I mean, I pretty much filled up my stringer in the past 45 minutes I've been fishing on the game. How long have I been streaming? Oh, I've been streaming for 2 hours. So I want to say maybe a couple of hours I filled my fish keep up. Just bullshitting. So not bad. Not bad. We're gonna see how much money I get though. Let's see how much money I get. All right, I'll take that. I got 22,000, 22,000, and then I just paid 2,000 to stay in the lake, so I got 20,000. So 20,000 is not bad. You know what I'm saying? I had 32. You had 20. Now I got 50. You know what I'm saying? If you do that 5 times, and it takes you a couple of hours or whatever, and you're messing around, you do that 5 times, you got $100,000 there, Bones. You see what I'm working with? Do you see what I'm working with? Okay. I could probably, well, that's a 440 pound stringer. I did a lot of lure fishing. So I did lure fishing. My girl had 16 pounds. That ain't nothing out of 440. So I filled up a stringer in an hour and 50 minutes. 440 pound stringer. And I was using lures in the beginning. The only bait that I used, the only bait that I filled up 200, almost 200, I think 200 pounds. Almost 200 pounds before I went over there catfishing. So 180 pounds, 170 pounds. So that wasn't bad. Lure fishing, didn't use no bait, no minnows. Um, and we got 20,000 in 2 hours. That's not bad. Anyway, guys, we are going to UFC 2 right now. I need everybody that's on the stream right now to come to the stream on UFC 3. Excuse me. We're going to the beta UFC 3 right now. I'll have the stream up in probably 2 minutes. Okay, guys? The stream will be up in 2 minutes. Don't miss it. Come and check it out. Right now, UFC 3 beta. Let's go.